Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and I'm sure you can hear from my voice. I'm still under the weather, losing my voice yesterday, so I apologize for no breaches of the week video like I normally do. Hopefully we'll get back on track this upcoming Sunday, but until then, I've got a little bit of voice now, so the show must go on. And today we're talking about deepfakes, because criminally charging for deepfakes is now a thing, specifically for minors. Now, this is coming out of Florida, and there's a good write-up in Wired by Caroline Haskins on this, and I think it really underscores the issues that we have, not just with deepfakes becoming something that, quite frankly, can be used for malicious intent, but also the disparity that we have between state and federal laws, meaning the laws of Florida don't apply to other states, and federal laws that apply everywhere are kind of non-existent on this. Now, here's what's going on. Two teenage boys in Miami were arrested this past December for allegedly creating and sharing AI-generated nude images of both male and female classmates without their consent. Now, this is according to a public record search by Wired and pretty much every publication out there looking at this particular topic. Now, the arrest reports say and these two boys, aged 13 and 14, created the images of students who were, quote, between the ages of 12 and 13. So roughly their age, maybe a year younger. Now, the Florida case appears to be the first arrest in criminal charges as a result of alleged sharing of AI nude images that has essentially come to light here as, again, we are walking into this new horizon, unfortunately. Now, the boys were charged with third-degree felonies. That's the same level of crime as grand theft auto or false imprisonment under a Florida state law passed in 2022, which actually makes it a felony to share, quote, any altered sexual depiction, end quote, of a person without their consent. Now, the parents of one of the boys arrested did not respond to requests, for public comment and all of that. A parent of the other boy said that they had no comment. And so, obviously, when you're talking about minors, it's a difficult one to get in front of the press with. Now, the detective assigned to the case and the state attorney handling the case also did not respond. So, as AI image-making tools have become widely available, there have been several high-profile incidents in which minors allegedly created AI-generated nude images of their classmates and shared without consent. No arrests, though, and that's the thing, have been disclosed in those publicly reported cases. So one at Issaquah High School in the state of Washington. Again, state laws are disparate. Same with Westfield High School in New Jersey and Beverly Vista Middle School in California. And even though police reports were filed in those, here we are. At Issaquah High School, for example, the police opted not to press charges. Now, the first media reports of Florida's case appeared in December, saying that the two boys were suspended from Pinecrest Cove Academy in Miami for 10 days after school administrators learned of the allegations that they had created and shared these fake nude images of other students without consent. So after the parents of the victims learned about this, several of them began publicly urging the school to expel the boys. Now, Nadia Khan Roberts, mother of one of the victims, told NBC Miami in December that basically for all of the families whose children were victimized, the incident was obviously traumatizing. That's the last thing you want. Quote, our daughters do not feel comfortable walking the same hallway with these boys. It makes me feel violated. I feel taken advantage of, and I feel used. That's according to one victim who asked to remain anonymous in talking to the local NBC affiliate, not to mention the fact you're not really putting out the names of minors. Now, Wired obtained arrest records basically this past week that say the incident was reported to police on December 6th and that the boys were arrested on the 22nd of December. The records also accused the pair of using a, quote, artificial intelligence application to make these specific images. The name of the app, for the record, has not been disclosed. Quote, the incident was reported to a school administrator, and that's what the report says without specifying who reported it or how that person found those images. And after the school administrator, quote, obtained copies of the altered images, end quote, the administrator then interviewed the victims depicted in them, according to the report, who said that they did not consent to having these created. And again, it's AI generated. You really can't consent to that, I guess. Now, after not to mention, I believe in law, if you're under 18, consent is not really a thing. So, after their arrest, the two boys accused of making these images were transported to the Juvenile Service Department without incident, according to the report. But, excuse me, when we're talking about the long view of this issue, and really the crux of it here's what we're really talking about, because only a handful of states have laws on books that target fake non-consensual nude images, but there is no federal law targeting the practice. This seems like something that even a deeply divided U.S. Congress could essentially get in line with and vote unanimously on. So we'll see what's going to happen there, because a group of senators recently introduced a bill to combat this problem, but not after this incident, after the incident with the fake nude images of pop star Taylor Swift were created and widely distributed on X, formerly Twitter. So the boys were charged under a Florida law passed in 2022 that state legislators basically designed to curb harassment involving deepfake images made by AI-powered tools. And so essentially, anyone who creates nude images of a minor would then be in possession of what is known as CSAM, or child sexual abuse material. However, it's likely that these two boys accused of making and sharing this material are not going to be charged with CSAM possession due to their age. They're 13 and 14. They are making these images of 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds, and so it's not like they're 22. Now, on top of this, Florida has disparity when it comes to laws of this nature. Florida's revenge porn law, which predates the 2022 statute, only makes the offense a misdemeanor, while it is a felony under this new 2022 law. And basically, that's actually for what's actually a less harsh offense, but obviously still an offense. So revenge porn has a much more sinister intent than obviously these two boys that were probably thinking this would be a fun prank or something like that to like level or bully or whatever it is. Not good in any case, don't get me wrong. But it also really shows you the problem that we have here in various states, where some states have no laws on the books, and those that do have essentially disparity in there, whether it's discretionary power for local law enforcement to say, they're boys, they don't, they didn't know better at 12 and 13 or 13 and 14. It'd be the same with girls if they do the same thing. They don't know better at that age. We've all done stupid stuff when we were in junior high and high school. Now, in order to be expelled, it sounds like because it's called Pinecrest Cove Academy, I'm guessing it's a private institution, because the other side of that is the federal law that essentially mandates that all children need to be in school. And so you wouldn't, if this was a public school situation or incident, for example, you may not necessarily be able to expel the boys, but maybe you have to transfer them to another school in the district. I'm not 100% sure how that would necessarily work, but that's the other side of this. And so when you're looking at Florida, for the record, and I'm not getting political here, that is at the center of things like culture wars, and they are basically enacting a lot of laws that are inconsistent with a lot of other states that may have a more balanced approach to things. Here we go. I mean, they went after Disney, for God's sakes, on having their own thing and woke and all that. I'm not getting into that, but the point is that Florida's doing something rather unique compared to many of the other states right now. Whether you like it or not, I don't care. The point is that obviously makes it a different challenge. And so with that is your news of the day. I'm going to stop talking because basically I'm probably losing my voice again, as you can hear. But I think this is an important one. This is precedent setting. And I think that, quite frankly, the way this is handled is going to be looked at across the entire nation, because, to basically have 13-year-old or 14-year-old boys have felonies, or girls or anybody at that age have felonies on their record, when, quite frankly, this is a teaching moment, a learning moment, an education moment, not just for them, but for their parents at all. There has to be consequences, but it shouldn't be that harsh. And I think that's the real issue here, on top of the disparity that we've got. So take that for what it's worth. That is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. Same with YouTube as well, where you should subscribe. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please never stay private. Thanks, everybody.